This is the real reasons to Marvel trailers lie, secrets explained. Marvel Studios has been systematically lying to you for over a decade, and the Russo brothers admitted it on record in March 2019 when they told Empire magazine they manipulate through CG to tell a story specifically for the purpose of the trailer and not for the film. But here's what nobody's talking about. This isn't creative accident or last-minute editing. It's a billion-dollar marketing strategy with legal consequences that just changed everything in 2022. And I'll show you the exact tactics, the hidden motives, and which studios are now getting sued for trailer deception. Which Marvel trailer lie shocked you the most when you finally saw the movie? Education and entertainment only, not insider advice. Let me set the scope here. Confirmed means on-record director quotes, official studio statements, or side-by-side trailer evidence. Likely means multiple trade reports align from different sources. Rumor means single-source anonymous chatter that hasn't been verified. And just so we're clear on timeline, we're talking main MCU canon here, not multiverse variants or what-if scenarios that muddy the waters. Here's your first open loop. By the end, I'll reveal the 2022 federal court ruling that made trailer lies legally dangerous for studios. Second loop, I'll expose the one Marvel trailer myth that even hardcore fans still believe is true. I'll pay both off before the recap so you get the full picture. The policy isn't hidden anymore. Joe Russo told the Happy, Sad, Confused podcast in July 2018 that they use lots of different shots that aren't in the movie that we can manipulate through CG. Anthony Russo was even more direct, saying that famous Hulk charging with the Wakanda army shot was literally created in that version for the trailer, not cut from the film, not an alternate take, fabricated specifically to mislead you. But it gets worse. Dan DeLeo, the VFX supervisor on Infinity War, confirmed in 2022 that they also digitally altered the Infinity Gauntlet throughout the trailers, removing stones Thanos had already collected to hide his power level. That reframes the MacGuffin's status in marketing to protect the in-theater reveal while selling audiences a completely different threat assessment. And that's exactly why the next studio went further with marketing-only shots. Now, here's the twist. This isn't just Marvel Studios. Sony does it for Spider-Man films, Fox did it for X-Men, and the tactics are spreading across the industry because the box office results are undeniable. And that's the setup for Marvel's most aggressive concealment yet. The most common tactic is what I call marketing-only shots, footage staged purely for trailers that never appears in any cut of the film. John Watts, director of Spider-Man Homecoming, admitted to Screen Crush in July 2017 that the iconic shot of Spider-Man and Iron Man swinging together over Queens was never in the movie. He said, "I feel a little weird that there's a shot in the trailer that's not in the movie at all, but it's a cool shot." Think about that. The money shot that sold the mentor-protege relationship was completely fabricated. They filmed Spider-Man separately, Iron Man separately, composited them over a Queen's background plate, and called it marketing. The actual film has zero aerial teamwork between them. Here's the trap most fans miss. These aren't deleted scenes that got cut for time. Deleted scenes exist as complete footage that was intended for the film. Marketing-only shots are created by trailer houses specifically to generate hype for moments that were never planned to happen. And the next trailer goes even further. It moves a death across continents. Thor Ragnarok pulled the most elaborate location swap in Marvel history. The trailer showed Hela destroying Mjolnir in a gritty New York alley at timestamp 142. Setting up the idea that Asgard's destruction would spill into Earth. But VFX supervisor Jake Morrison revealed to Inverse in March 2018 that they reshot the entire sequence in a field in Atlanta about 5 weeks before delivery. Director Taika Waititi explained they wanted somewhere peaceful for Odin's death scene, not hearing stupid yellow cabs in the background, 5 weeks before theatrical release. That's not a creative pivot, that's a marketing reframing where the trailer sold urban destruction and the film delivered emotional family drama. What it proves is that Marvel will reshoot entire sequences not for story reasons, but to protect the emotional context from being spoiled in marketing. Question 2. So after seeing 3 major films use completely different tactics, fabrication, digital alteration, and location swapping, Which approach do you think crosses the line from protecting surprises to misleading audiences? What's solid so far? Ragnarok teaser at 1:42. 2 on-record quotes from July 2018 and March 2018, and 1 VFX supervisor interview. Before we move on, listen to this. Age of Ultron's trailers promised a molten metal Ultron transformation at trailer timestamp 2:18 that suggested he was literally reforging himself in fire. That shot doesn't exist in any cut of the film. The mysterious woman in Thor's cave vision who sparked theories about Wakanda connections? Completely removed. Wanda's rubble scream that looked like pure destruction? Recontextualized as grief after Pietro's death. Now, here's the twist. The Incredible Hulk from 2008 had the darkest scene Marvel ever filmed. Bruce Banner in the Arctic, pulling out a gun, attempting suicide before the Hulk takes over and refuses to let him die. It was shot, it was in early cuts, it was teased in marketing materials. Steven Broussard, the producer, said in The Story of Marvel Studios that there's nothing wrong with it, but if it's not right for the movie, there's a fearlessness in walking away from that. They walked away from a completed suicide scene because it was too dark for the brand, but they kept it in the marketing to hook mature audiences, then delivered a lighter theatrical cut for broader appeal. And that's the blueprint for Marvel's most systematic deception campaign. Here's where it gets worse. Iron Man, the film that started it all, had its own trailer deceptions. Pepper's helmet kiss before Tony's plane jump was marketing-only flavor. The line, "What are you building, Stark?" that hinted at suspicion and secret projects was trimmed from the final cut. Even in 2008, Marvel was testing the waters of promising character beats in trailers that wouldn't pay off on screen. The pattern was set from day one. Show the setup, hide the payoff, promise the spectacle, protect the emotion. So Endgame had to escalate the concealment beyond anything Marvel had tried. You won't believe this next part. Avengers Endgame, the film that made $357 million opening weekend, hid more from audiences than any previous Marvel movie. The trailers showed Thor looking fierce and battle-ready, like the god of thunder we knew at trailer timestamp 128. The actual film revealed Bro Thor, overweight, broken, drowning in guilt. That transformation was one of the film's biggest surprises because the marketing completely concealed it using digital body replacement. Natasha at the shooting range calmly practicing while the team regrouped, that scene never appears. Smart Hulk rescuing people from a burning building, which was likely supported by storyboards and toy promotions based on multiple trade reports, gone from the final cut. Proof to this point. Endgame trailer frames at 128, 2 trade reports 3 weeks apart, and 1 director quote from May 2019. The trailer immediately and redesigned the entire campaign out of respect for the tragedy. The Russos protected Endgame's secrets by showing you a version of the movie that didn't exist. But the most telling detail is this. Endgame's first trailer hit 289 million views in 24 hours, making it the most watched trailer in history at the time. Audiences were desperate for spoilers, and Marvel gave them a masterclass in misdirection instead. What's the pattern here? Marvel learned that audiences had become so predictive, as Joe Russo put it, that traditional marketing was spoiling their own films. So they started lying strategically. Show the setup, hide the payoff. Promise the team up, deliver the twist, sell the spectacle, protect the emotion. Ant-Man perfected the art of the trailer-only gag. The line, "Is it too late to change the name?" that Paul Rudd delivers to Michael Douglas was created specifically for marketing and never appeared in any cut of the film. Director Peyton Reed confirmed to Vulture in July 2015 that it was in the director's cut but removed from theatrical. The cash-flying heist shot that screamed blockbuster spectacle, also marketing only designed to sell the Ocean's 11 vibe, that the actual film delivered through shrinking gadgets and ant armies instead. Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness took a different approach, DR swaps and line alterations. The trailers featured darker villain-leaning Wanda lines like, "You break the rules and become the hero. I do it and become the enemy." That doesn't seem fair. In the final film, the dialogue was softened and recut, leaving a different tone than what fans braced for. The haunting trailer line from Evil Strange, "Things just got out of hand," never appeared in the same form in theaters. This represents the evolution of Marvel's deception tactics. Early films used simple cuts and trims. Modern Marvel uses sophisticated VFX replacement, ADR swaps, and complete digital fabrication to craft trailer narratives that protect the theatrical experience. But here's what nobody's talking about. The legal landscape just changed everything, and the law finally noticed. Time for that first open-loop payoff. December 20th, 2022. U.S. District Judge Stephen Wilson ruled in Woulfe v. Universal that movie trailers are commercial speech designed to sell movies, not artistic expression protected by the First Amendment. This came from a case where Universal featured Ana de Armas prominently in Yesterday trailers despite her being completely absent from the film. The ruling means studios can now be sued for false advertising if their trailer deceptions cross the line from protecting surprises to misleading consumers about what they're buying. Here's what crosses the line. Fabricated character appearances and non-existent plot elements are legally risky. Spoiler protection through VFX concealment and scene reordering remains safer territory. In plain English, fabricating a character's presence is risky. Masking spoilers with VFX is generally safer. Marvel's spoiler protection might be legally defensible, but marketing-only shots featuring characters who don't appear could trigger lawsuits. Sony, Disney, and other studios are now walking a legal tightrope between marketing effectiveness and false advertising liability. The most extreme example isn't even from the MCU, and it shows how marketing meets the real world. Spider-Man 2002's original teaser showed a bank robbery helicopter caught in a giant web strung between the Twin Towers. It was an unforgettable image that perfectly captured Spider-Man protecting New York. Then came September 11th. Sony pulled, "That's when marketing meets human decency." Sometimes, trailers change not because of story needs, but because of cultural sensitivity and the weight of real-world events. Spider-Man 3 took a different approach to visual symbolism. The trailers showed Peter swinging across New York in daylight, wearing the black symbiote suit, giving audiences a clear look at the new design. Director Sam Raimi later explained he wanted the symbiote to feel menacing, so the final cut limited its use to nighttime sequences. The marketing leaned into the daylight shot because it sold the visual clearly, even though it contradicted the film's mood. Solid here. One legacy trailer removal, one symbolism mismatch, and producer commentary on a cut subplot. The most heartbreaking case is X-Men Days of Future Past. The trailers promised Rogue back in action, showing Anna Paquin fighting alongside the team in the dark future timeline. Fans went into theaters expecting her to reclaim the spotlight. In the theatrical cut, she barely appeared at all. Director Bryan Singer explained that Rogue's rescue sequence was filmed but trimmed late in production because it disrupted the flow of the third act. The footage was complete, the performances were strong, but it slowed the pacing. Trailers still carried glimpses of those moments, creating one of the biggest mismatches between marketing and final release. The twist? Fox later released the Rogue cut on Blu-ray, restoring her subplot and extending several sequences. It became a favorite among X-Men fans who felt the original release left her out unfairly. Sometimes the trailer version is actually the better version, and that callback to the hook reminds us that what Marvel promises isn't always worse than what they deliver. Loop 2 payoff. The idea that Marvel trailers only show footage from the first 20 minutes of the film is marketing mythology designed to make you feel safe from spoilers. Kevin Feige told MTV News in January 2019 that it's somewhat accurate for Endgame, but that's PR spin covering a more complex reality. Endgame trailers showed time jump looks like Black Widow's blonde hair, quantum realm suits, and multiple shots from the final battle, all heavily edited or VFX concealed, but definitely not from the first act. The 20-minute rule is marketing mythology. Marvel shows you the entire film with strategic misdirection, not just the opening act. Here's what this means for you as a viewer. Trust the vibe, not the specifics. Marvel trailers accurately convey tone, visual style, and emotional stakes. Thor Ragnarok's humor, Endgame's gravitas, Infinity War's scope. That's all real. But specific plot beats, character team-ups, and action sequences are fair game for misdirection. Red flags to watch for. Any polished shot of characters in generic backgrounds is likely fabricated. Suspicious team-ups where the characters never make eye contact probably weren't filmed together. Dialogue delivered as voiceover might be spliced from different scenes or never spoken at all. And if a trailer shows what looks like a climactic moment, assume it's heavily redacted or completely altered. International trailer variants sometimes reveal the edits. You won't believe this next part, the mistake that exposed an entire edit. The Brazilian trailer for Spider-Man No Way Home at timestamp 2:34 accidentally showed Lizard recoiling from an invisible punch, exposing where Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield were digitally erased from the final battle shots. One editing mistake revealed the entire deception. Character costume inconsistencies across trailers are another tell. Thor's eye patch digitally restored in Ragnarok trailers when he'd already lost the eye. Killmonger and T'Challa face swaps in Black Panther marketing. These aren't continuity errors, they're deliberate concealment tactics. The business reality is this works. Films with high trailer deception consistently earn massive opening weekends and strong audience scores. Endgame made $357 million domestic opening weekend with an A+ cinema score. Infinity War hit $257 million opening weekend despite the Hulk fabrication. No Way Home reached $260 million opening weekend while hiding two Spider-Men, and its final trailer hit 355.5 million views in 24 hours. Audiences don't feel betrayed when the surprises are worth it. They feel betrayed when the trailer promises something better than what the film delivers. Marvel has mastered the art of underselling the emotional payoff while overselling the spectacle setup. But the 2022 legal ruling changes the game. Studios now face real financial risk for egregious trailer deceptions. Question 3. The question isn't whether Marvel will keep altering trailers, it's how much they'll dial back now that artistic expression is no longer legal cover for false advertising. Final receipts check. 8 confirmed cases spanning 2002 to 2022. Federal court precedent from December 2022. Box office correlation data from 250+ million openings, and trailer view statistics from the 2 most watched Marvel trailers in history. Here's your takeaway toolkit in 3 parts. First, Marvel trailers are sophisticated marketing instruments designed to maximize opening weekends while preserving theatrical surprise. The Russos aren't hiding this anymore. They openly admit they manipulate through CG for trailers. Second, the strategy works because it protects the emotional journey while selling the visual spectacle. But legal risks now limit how far studios can push deception. Third, watch trailers for mood and stakes, not plot mechanics. Expect final battle footage to be heavily scrubbed and question any shot that looks too perfect. The deeper truth is that Marvel's trailer lies reveal their respect for the theatrical experience. They'd rather mislead you in marketing than spoil you in the theater. In an era where every plot twist leaks online within hours, strategic deception might be the only way to preserve genuine surprise. Question 4. Which Marvel trailer misdirect do you think was justified protection versus crossing the line into false advertising? Next, I'll map the exact techniques DC and Star Wars use for their own trailer deceptions, and why Marvel's approach is actually more honest than you think. If you want that breakdown, type Part 2 in the comments, and I'll know there's demand for the full industry analysis.